In the opening scene, we meet a billionaire named Richie and his wife, Hunter, at a dinner party with other wealthy guests. The celebration is for Richie's recent business success, which has brought significant profit to his company. Richie's parents are visibly proud of him. After the dinner, Richie and Hunter return to their lavish new home in upstate New York. Despite the luxury surrounding her, Hunter, who comes from a lower working-class background, often feels bored and unfulfilled. She spends her time cooking, playing mobile games, and sketching. Emotionally, she feels stifled and isolated because Richie is distant and inattentive. During one dinner, Hunter tries to start a conversation with Richie, but he is too absorbed in his work messages to pay her any attention. A few days after the dinner party, Hunter discovers she is pregnant and excitedly shares the news with Richie, who is thrilled about becoming a father. To celebrate, they go out for dinner with Richie's parents. During the meal, Hunter attempts to share a childhood story, but her father-in-law cuts her off to discuss business. Feeling disheartened, Hunter withdraws and starts staring at the ice cubes in her glass. In her darkening mood, she impulsively bites down on one of the ice cubes, causing discomfort among the diners. The next day, Hunter's mother-in-law, Catherine, visits her and gives her a book about postpartum depression, explaining that it helped her during her own pregnancy. Catherine also suggests that Hunter would look more beautiful with longer hair, as Richie prefers it that way. Later, while reading the book, Hunter finds a passage that inspires her to do something unexpected. In a moment of reckless abandon, she swallows a small marble from her trinkets, which surprisingly makes her feel much better. When Richie comes home from work, he is surprised to find Hunter in a good mood. Richie questions the reason for Hunter's happiness, and she replies that she did something unexpected that made her proud. However, when Richie presses for details, Hunter lies and says it was simply choosing blue curtains. The next morning, as Richie gets ready for work, he becomes upset with Hunter for ruining one of his silk ties. Later, Hunter passes the marble she swallowed earlier, retrieving it from the sink without any signs of disgust. Soon after, Catherine calls Hunter for a conversation, asking about her previous job before marrying Richie. Hunter reveals she worked in retail, selling toiletries. Catherine remarks that Hunter is very fortunate to have married Richie and questions if she is genuinely happy or just pretending. Hunter insists she is happy, despite her expressions suggesting otherwise. One day, while cleaning the house, Hunter finds a thumbtack and decides to swallow it. Initially hesitant, she eventually puts the thumbtack in her mouth, poking her tongue. Despite trying to resist, she gives in and ingests the thumbtack, feeling a sense of relief. That evening, Richie comes home with friends. Hunter plans to greet them by the pool, but the pain from the thumbtack intensifies, forcing her to rush to the bathroom. She expels the thumbtack, leaving a lot of blood on the toilet seat. Before Richie notices, Hunter quickly cleans up and leaves the bathroom. At the pool, one of Richie's friends congratulates Hunter on her pregnancy. Things take a strange turn when he asks for a hug, saying he feels lonely. Hunter reluctantly agrees, but it becomes clear that she needed the hug more than he did. As time goes on, Hunter becomes increasingly drawn to consuming non-edible items around her home, including metal figurines, batteries, book pages, safety pins, and other objects. Hunter finds the thrill of eating non-food items incredibly exhilarating and cannot resist the temptation. During a routine ultrasound appointment, the sonogram technician detects an abnormality in Hunter's abdomen. She is rushed into emergency surgery, where the surgeon discovers numerous inedible objects trapped in her intestines. After a thorough examination, the doctor diagnoses Hunter with pica, a psychological disorder that compels individuals to eat non-food items. When Hunter returns home, Richie is understandably angry and confused, wondering what could be wrong with her. Hunter claims she doesn't know what is happening and has never heard of pica before. Concerned for her well-being, Richie and his parents arrange for Hunter to see a psychiatrist in the city. Initially, they insist on being present during her sessions until the psychiatrist, Alice, requests to speak with Hunter alone. During their private conversation, Alice asks how it feels to swallow these objects, and Hunter reveals that she enjoys their textures in her mouth. Richie hires a Syrian man named Louis to keep a closer eye on Hunter while he is at work. This arrangement frustrates Hunter further. Over the next several days, she becomes increasingly irritated with Louis's attempts to assist her in the kitchen. He criticizes her mental health issues, insinuating that if she had experienced what he had in Syria, she wouldn't have such problems. He even inspects her before allowing her to use the bathroom. Despite this, Hunter still finds ways to swallow non-food items for satisfaction. The scene shifts to Richie's birthday celebration, a lavish party at their mansion. During the party, Hunter discovers that everyone in attendance knows about her swallowing problem. She confronts Richie, asking why he told everyone, but he dismisses her, saying it is his special day and he doesn't want her to ruin it. This leaves Hunter feeling hurt and upset. Later that night, as the couple is having coitus, Hunter abruptly stops and demands that Richie apologize before they can continue. During her next therapy session, Hunter shares a deeply personal and traumatic experience. She reveals that she was not raised by her biological father and has never met him, though she keeps a picture of him. Hunter also discloses that she was conceived as a result of her mother's rape at the hands of a strange man she had met in a bar. The rapist served time in prison for the crime. One day, while in the garden, Hunter becomes fixated on the soil, but manages to resist the urge to consume it. However, while washing her hands, she overhears her husband talking to her therapist on the phone. Hunter realizes that Richie has bribed the therapist to reveal what they discussed during her sessions. Alice divulges all the information about her last session, including her mother's case. This sends Hunter into a state of panic. As soon as Richie leaves for work, she breaks down in tears. A short while later, Luay walks into the room to check on Hunter and finds her under the bed. Feeling bad, he joins her there and gently pats her shoulder, providing comfort and support during this difficult time. In the dead of night, Hunter wakes up and notices Luay lying soundly beside her. Her compulsion to swallow inanimate objects arises again, and she starts frantically searching through drawers. Finding nothing, she hastily picks up a screwdriver and swallows it. However, this turns out to be a bad decision as Hunter starts choking, prompting Luay to wake up. He immediately dials 911 and rushes her to the hospital. Fortunately, the surgeons are able to extract the screwdriver from her body without harming Hunter or the fetus. Following this frightening ordeal, Hunter finds herself under pressure as Richie and his parents coerce her to sign papers committing her to a psychiatric hospital for 7 months until she delivers the baby. Although Hunter initially resists, her husband blackmails her by threatening to divorce her if she refuses. This leaves her with no other option but to comply, much to the sympathy of Luay, who is observing everything from nearby. The following day, Hunter packs her belongings and prepares to leave for the psychiatric hospital. But at the last second, she returns to her room, claiming to have forgotten her charger. Surprisingly, Luay meets Hunter inside and encourages her to run through the woods. Hunter obliges, and once she's out of sight, Luay stages her disappearance as an escape. Hunter manages to hitchhike to a motel, and before entering, later, she calls her husband and confesses that she only got pregnant to make him happy and that they rushed into things too quickly. Richie speaks kindly to her, trying to convince her to come back, but when she refuses, he begins to belittle and insult her, stating that she is good for nothing and not skilled at a single thing. After the call ends, Hunter crushes her cell phone and spends the rest of the night alone, watching TV and eating soil. The following day, Hunter checks out of her motel room and calls her mother to ask if she can stay with her. Unfortunately, her mother declines, stating that her other daughter is currently residing with her. Finding herself without a place to go, Hunter decides to hitchhike to the home of her biological father, William Irwin. Upon reaching his house, she discovers that William is celebrating his birthday with family and friends. Hunter approaches him, but William assumes she is the parent of one of their daughter's friends. Hunter clarifies that she is not a parent and mentions her mother's name. Hearing this, William immediately recognizes her as his estranged daughter. After getting a chance to talk alone, Hunter questions why he took advantage of her mother. William admits that he felt powerful when he committed such acts. However, after serving several years in jail, he realized his mistakes and regrets them. The conversation becomes emotional as William expresses his shame and guilt for his past actions. Hunter inquires if he feels shame towards her and whether she is like him. William immediately refutes these claims, assuring Hunter that she is not like him and bears no responsibility for past events. As Hunter's emotions overwhelm her, William offers consolation and reminds her that she is blameless and should not carry the burden of guilt. After finding solace in her emotional conversation with William, Hunter feels ready to move forward with her life. She makes the difficult decision to undergo an abortion and visits a clinic where she is prescribed medication for the procedure. Hunter takes the pills while eating lunch in a food court, and despite the bustling surroundings, she experiences the physical effects of the abortion in a public restroom, alone with her thoughts. Once the procedure is complete, Hunter feels a sense of liberation and relief wash over her. She recognizes that this decision was not easy, but was the right one for her at this moment in her life. With newfound freedom and a clear head, Hunter sets out to embark on a fresh start, leaving the pain and trauma of her past behind. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this.